Welcome to the Generic Tech Support YouTube channel. By watching this channel, you are accepting that the content on this channel is intended for educational purposes only. We strive to provide valuable information to help you enhance your technical understanding. We do not condone the use of pirated software. Please respect local copyright laws and support software developers by using legitimate purchased products. All testing conducted on this channel is done in compliance with the Consumer Review Fairness Act and the United States Fair Use Act under Copyright Law, Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act. We aim to provide honest reviews, security configuration tricks, tips, and how-tos. While we make every effort to deliver 100% tested solutions, we acknowledge that we don't know everything. If you have additional insights or corrections, please share them in the comments. Like and subscribe to keep up with the latest OS reviews and security tips. Your support helps us continue to provide valuable content.
Hey guys, have you ever been in a situation where you have your CPU pinned, you're trying to end the task on Microsoft Edge, but you can't end it, it just will not end, it just runs in the background? I'm going to show you how to get rid of it through command line. So we're simply just going to right click on Start and do Run and then CMD, but then we have a problem, right? So if we do that, we have CMD, but we don't have it as admin. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click on Start, and hopefully we get CMD. If we don't, and for whatever reason you can't get into the Start menu, then you can still right-click Run, do CMD, and then once CMD opens, we could right-click on it again and choose to run it as administrator. So right-click on the command prompt, and do Run as admin. Choose Yes when you see this UAC prompt. Okay, so now we have our Run as admin command opened. What we need to do is we need to find Edge. So let's do tasklist, which is basically just the task manager itself, just in the command line. And we could hit enter on here and just see everything. But we could also do pipe, we could do find, we could do /I, we could do edge, and we could end the quote and hit enter. And this should find just the things that are Microsoft Edge. So we see MS Edge here, and then what we're looking for specifically is this number, which is the PID number. So the PID number is what we're going to use to actually kill Microsoft Edge, because you'll note that with Edge in the background, you could right-click and close it, but it never closes because that pop-up exists, and Microsoft makes it impossible to kill this thing once it starts. So say we would just want to get rid of it. We could Taskkill the actual process or the image name just by doing IM. So IM will do the image name. So if we do Taskkill space /IM, put msedge.exe in there, and then space do /F, that should kill all of MS Edge. All right, so we got that typed in there. Let's just do an enter now and see if that kills it. There you go. So that's how you kill all of the Microsoft Edge processes without having to dig through your task manager, assuming the task manager starts. If it doesn't start, this still works. But what this will allow you to do is actually kill anything that's associated to that name. Now, if you ever want to screw with your friends, you can actually install a piece of software called PSExec, which is part of the PS Tools, which you could find free on Microsoft's site. You could download that, and then you could PSExec to their machine. And once you're connected, you could actually kill these tasks in the background, assuming you have admin access into their machine. So if they have no password, it's really easy, right? If they have a password, then it's still real easy. If you know what the password is, you could always change it. If you set yourself up with a secondary account on their machine, maybe just as a joke, you know, to get into their machine or have access into their machine, at that point you could use that account to gain access into the system. And then once you're in the system, you could literally just kill the task just like this. And that's how you figure out specifically the image name. And then we have the kill. Now, if we don't have the image name and say we want to kill it based off of the processor identification, I'll show you how to do that next. Okay, so we got it open again, but we're going to make a mental note here because we could see that the processor or PID number, process identification, is listed here. However, keep in mind that on Windows, every time you open and close something, the PID number changes. So if we go back in here and we do tasklist find /I edge and hit enter, we're going to see different numbers in here now than what we saw above. So you would use IM for the image name basically to kill the msexec or msedge.exe for all of them, right? But if you want to kill an individual process identifier, so for instance, we'll say 3832, we could actually do taskkill /PID 3832 and then do /F again for force, and we'll hit enter, and you'll see the single PID was removed or terminated, which removes that 3832. However, that doesn't kill the application because the application has multiple things running in the background. So if you wanted to kill the application as a whole, again, you would use the /IM versus just the individual command to kill just a single instance of whatever it is that's running. This works also for services that are hung. So if you're in a situation where you go into your service console and you go to restart a service and it gets stuck in restarting and never stops, you could go in here and find the associated PID number with the associated name and actually kill that particular service. Let's take a look at that real quick. So to save some time, I'm just going to launch the service console through here. Okay, so for the sake of this, I'm just going to kill a Google service. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look here and we're going to see the Google elevation service is running. And if I go to the right here, we're going to see the elevation service.exe. Now, if I stop this and it hangs, chances are it won't on this machine. This machine's relatively new, but if you were in a situation where you stop this and it hangs and it says stopping, but it never actually stops, yes, you could reboot the system and it'll clear that. And then it'll either restart or not restart depending on how you have your startup type set. So for the sake of this, what we're going to do is we're going to actually kill it so that way we don't have to reboot. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's look inside of our command line. What we're going to do is we're going to do another task list. But instead of edge, we're going to replace that with the executable name. So we're just going to put in elevation. And then hit enter. So there we go. We can see the elevation service.exe, which is listed up here as the elevation service.exe. So in the event that this is hanging, all you would actually at that point have to do is you would have to run your taskkill command with your PID, your PID, and then indicate this 7732 PID in there. So if we do that and we change this to 7732 and we hit enter, it will successfully kill the PID. Now if I go back over here, we're going to see stopped as the status of the service. So in the event that you're running Windows and you go to stop the service or restart the service and it hangs, an easy fix for that is just to go into your console here, locate the PID associated with the actual executable, as we see here, and then you could literally do a taskkill with the /PID, the PID number that you see listed, and then an F to force it, and it will kill that service. So that way you don't have to reboot the system to get into the same state that you could get basically by just running this command. Okay, so now we've killed those things that are known services or services that actually have an executable name. I'll show you how to do this on a service that doesn't have an executable name or that shares an executable name, and that's specifically the service host, so SVC host. So if we go back into our actual command line here, and we go to task list again, and we just get rid of all this and just hit enter, we're going to see a bunch of stuff in here that's going to be SVC host. And then there's going to be a PID number next to it. We're going to see an association of either the console or the services. So SVC host is the name of basically a lot of service structure inside of your Windows platform. So if we do find, and then and then we'll do SVC host, and then we'll hit enter. This is all SVC host stuff. So how do you differentiate this SVC host that's running this from the SVC hosts that are running all on here as the same name? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually change the command logic a little bit. We're going to do a task list, but we're going to add a / on here of SVC. And then we're going to hit enter. Now, if we do that and we scroll up through here, we're going to see an associated name to the actual service host. That's the first step in figuring out what these service hosts actually are. Now the next part of this is if we go down here and we do another pipe and we do find and we do /I and svc host and then another quote and hit enter. Now we're going to see all the svc hosts with the information to the right, and that's shown by doing the /svc as seen here. So now the display information on the right hand side is actually this information, the service name. So if we go in here and we look for specifically event log, which obviously it could be difficult to find, and you can just use the /I and put event log. But for the sake of this, I just wanted to go through this and show you specifically what you have here. But we have event log, and that's the svc host. So the event log is the information, the name for the service name. The svc host is the actual path to the executable. So if we wanted to kill this, all we would literally have to do is do a taskkil command with the PID of 1676. So let's scroll down here. And let's change this to the taskkills. I just want to confirm that that's 1676. I believe it is, but we'll go back up here. And we'll see 1676 for event log. So we're going to go back down. We're going to do the PID 1676 space /F, and we'll hit enter. And we'll see that it's been terminated. So now if I go back over here and I refresh, and this may actually have already started, but I doubt it. So it hasn't. And it shows the status is stopped. So we've killed the association, the service host association, to the event log. And that's how you kill service hosts that are inside of the services console that may be hung. All right, guys, so hopefully you learned something on this, and thanks for joining me. Take it easy.